Shabbat Shalom to everyone, and Chodesh Tov. This week parasha is Parashat Mishpatim, and the parasha that deals with all the laws that were given to us after the Ten Commandments immediately. But this coming Shabbat is important for another reason as well. This is the Shabbat before the new month of Pisces. The new month of Pisces this year is starting on Motzai Shabbat, Saturday night, and will be Sunday and Monday, 2 days of the Rosh Chodesh. And we are entering to the month of Pisces, the month of the festivity of Purim, the powerful connection of Purim, the month with the death anniversary of Moses, the channel of Moses, on the 7th of Adar. Very powerful month. So today, in the short time that we have, I'm going to speak a little bit about the parasha and also a little bit about the month of Pisces, and as well the important concept of announcing and telling the people of Israel to be prepared to give the charity of the half coin of silver, machatzit shekel. It was a half coin of silver that each one of Israel gave, and everyone gave the same value of a coin. It's not that the rich ones give a lot and the poor give a little. Everyone gave the same, and we need to understand why it's considered to be like half of a coin, and it was told in that way instead to name directly the amount that they should give. What's the spiritual idea behind it, and what's the power of this coming Shabbat, and especially what is the power of doing that action, literally giving that type of charity that each one of Israel gave it. So we'll start with the month of Pisces. The idea is as guidance for spiritual work for all of those people that have many planets or strong planets of water influence, or the signs of water influence in their chart. If someone has a lot of water in their chart, they have an influence from that energy of the element named water. And what water are about? If we are looking in nature, we can see that water, they don't have their own energy to move. Which means when water are being spilled on the ground, the reason that they are going from up down, it's because that gravity is pulling them down. Their only energy is when they are inside of a pipe, and you pour into one side of the pipe water, or a tube water, and if the tube is in the shape of U, the letter U, then the water will go down and will climb up to the other side, which means to be equal from both sides. So that type of energy, if we will throw it upon the spiritual qualities, it means to be equal, love thy neighbor as thyself, wanting for the others as you want for you, willing to share, willing to give, energy of mercy. This is in nature the energy of water, the energy of mercy, the energy of giving. But we need to understand that they won't do it by themselves unless they are inside of a tube shaped as a U. Now, if we will pour water into a lake, they will be equal. The face of the water will be equal, but the water cannot move by themselves, or the wind will move them, or an earthquake, God forbid, will move them, or gravity will move them from above down. Which means water has a lot of energy. Life cannot exist without water, but if we do not, contain the water in a channel through which the water can be effective, then it's very hard for people that have a lot of water in their chart to manifest what they would like to manifest. Because water will go to all the sides and would like to be equal. And to achieve a target, you need to channel the water. If you want to water the garden, you need to limit the water into a pipe that then the pressure of the water coming out will be strong enough that you can water the garden. It's not like, with no pressure that it will do the work properly. With no pressure, then there will be a lot of water at the immediate surroundings, and then gradually and slowly it will go to other places. So the message is that people that have a strong quality and strong nature of the water nature, they need to accept containing themselves into what seems to be like limitation, because people that have the sign of water would like to have freedom, and they need to accept to contain themselves and then to concentrate their energy in order to achieve what they would like to achieve in life. And this is the month of Pisces. This is one of the hardest one from all water signs from that point of view, because Pisces want freedom and don't want to challenge themselves and to limit themselves. But you cannot achieve anything without directing it and having borders to it. So this is regards Pisces. It's energy of unity, energy of love thy neighbor as thyself. And we know that this is the month in which in Persia the situation brought the people to be united. And when we are united, the blessing is there. This is what took place in Mount Sinai, and this is what took place in Iran of that time. Iran of that time. So again, we need to come into unity. What's the meaning to come into unity? Again, the same simple rule. What goes around comes around. If we speak, think, or act negative towards other people, this is separation. And this will come back to us, will backfire on us. Which means unity at the beginning is don't do to others what you don't want them to do to you. It's as simple as that. So if you don't want others to think negative thoughts about you, don't think negative about them. Don't give them heartaches from your negative thoughts. If you want other people not to talk about you negative, don't talk about them negative. If you, and you know, we are often make these mistakes again and again. You don't want others to do bad to you, don't do them bad as well, and we do make those mistakes. And it's an opportunity in this month to try to correct it. Now, how can we get a higher consciousness to be able to do what we need to do? How can we elevate ourselves to that consciousness of unity, but truly to have it from the heart and not from the head? Because it's a huge difference between the heart frequency to the head frequency. And we need to bring it to the heart frequency. So this is the idea of this coming Shabbat, which is very essential. The energy of machatzit shekel, half of a coin, half of a silver coin, that they gave in order to buy all the sacrifices that they brought in the temple or the tabernacle through the year. Because each day of the year, in the tabernacle, they brought a sacrifice in the morning and a sacrifice in the afternoon. And then, if the public made a mistake, they had to bring a special sacrifice to fix that mistake. Or if an individual made a mistake, he needed to bring a sacrifice to fix it. Now, the idea of the sacrifice, in Hebrew, the word korban is to bring closer one to another. Korban, from the word in Hebrew, karov, close. So a sacrifice, when someone is sacrificing something, you know, if you love someone, you do sacrifice for them. Many times people would say, I'm sacrificing in order to stay in connection with someone. I love them, so I'm willing to sacrifice for them. So the idea of sacrifice is to bring close. So if that money that we are speaking about, the half of a silver coin that they gave the amount to it, like a complete coin is 20 gerah, like with the number 20, like $20, and approximately, by the way, this is the cost of the full coin. Half a coin is approximately $10. And this is, by the way, half of a coin silver, according to the weight that they told us, the value will be approximately $9-10 in today's value. So that half of a coin had importance. So again, why didn't tell them give $10 instead to tell them give half of 20? So the idea is, one, to remember that we are just half, we are not a complete one. Because in the golden calf, and this coin with the sacrifice of the tabernacle that it served, this coin helped to make a correction for the mistake that we made in the golden calf. In the golden calf, we were on the frequency of idol worshiping. And here, with the giving of the half of a coin, we have opportunity to do a correction to that. So what was in the golden calf? We felt that we are complete. We felt that we are big, that we are... Then we fell into the idol worshipping. We didn't feel like we are half without the light of God or without our higher consciousness. And the moment that we forgot that, then the mistake could take place. So first is to remind us, we are not complete. We are not alone, and this is the idea of unity. You are not alone. You are not complete. You need other people to complete you. This is one thing and one level. But there is another level to it which is very beautiful. That when the soul of a human being is coming to this world, before entering, it's splitting into two parts. One is staying above, and another part is coming into the body. The higher consciousness of the person is staying above, and the lower level is coming down. So if we are naming the soul of a person in Hebrew in a general name, because we know that there are some levels to the soul, like 5 levels. So the general name would be like nefesh, the nefesh of a human being that enters into the body. Now, that nefesh that enters into the body, it's interesting that nefesh in Hebrew, nun, pei, and shin, numerically would equal as the coin shekel in Hebrew. The Israeli coin named shekel. Shekel, it's shin, kuf, and lamed, equals exactly as nefesh, the nun, pei, and shin, 430, both. So when someone is giving that coin, it's to correct something in the soul level. It's not by mistake. But what do we do then when we give it? The truth is that when someone is giving it with the proper intention, then the purpose is to unify the two halves of a soul. The half of a soul that is in me with the higher consciousness that I left in the spiritual realm when I entered into this body. So given half of a shekel is to unify these both levels. This is why the precept of giving that half of a coin was very powerful. And this is before, usually it's before they also counted the people of Israel. They counted the coins to know how many there were. To count them, it means like after that they are connected, the higher level with the lower level. So it's a very powerful idea, because how can we elevate above our animal behavior, the desire to see for oneself alone? How can we do the correction? And it's very much associated with our parasha, because if God wants to give us a blessing, it's speaking about the concept of that says that sustenance of a person is hard as the splitting of the Red Sea. And we'll see another commentary to it from this week parasha, because it's speaking about the concept of blessing of sustenance as well in this parasha. So if a person is making an action of connecting the two halves, the lower and the higher, then he can get into a higher consciousness, and acting with that higher consciousness, the person can do what he's supposed to do in this world, reveal the light in this world. So the idea of giving the half of a coin is very essential, and because they needed to give it on Rosh Chodesh Nisan in that time in the desert, a month earlier they told the people, prepare your coins, be ready for it. Today's time, in our time, we do that action of giving of the coin or the value of a coin instead is in Purim usually. We can do it through this entire month, but usually customary we are doing it on Purim night or Purim day, and giving that half of a coin for each member of the family. So the value is around $9, $10 today. So if someone wants, he should give $9 or $10 for each one of the members of the family, and this is to remove judgment from the person, from the member of the family, and also to help to attach, to connect the two levels of the soul, if this is the intention. So this is what we should think while we are giving that charity, that donation. If any one of you would like to do it with our center in Israel, with the synagogue that we have over here, then you are welcome to send it to Israel for helping us with the synagogue and the community that we have here in Ra'anana. Now this is the half of a shekel. And therefore, for this Shabbat, we are going to take out two Sefer Torah, one to read the portion of Mishpatim, judgments, and another one to read the special reading of the giving of the half of a shekel. And in that reading as well, not just in giving the coin, in that reading as well, we would like to tap into that channel of connecting our soul to our own higher level of a soul. Powerful idea with that one. Powerful connection that we can make with that. This is one of the most beautiful things that I've heard about Machatzit HaShekel. Now, about the Parashat Mishpatim, speaking, if you'll buy a Hebrew slave, 6 years he should work, and in the 7th should go for free. So, and the parasha continues with many laws that we should behave according to. Now, it comes to the point in which it says that you should work your God. If you work for God in the proper way, then He will bless your bread and bless your water, and then He will remove the sickness from within you. Then it says, if you connect to God, if you work, if you reveal the light of God, then I will bless your bread, and I will bless your water, and I will remove sickness from you. So the question is that it's mentioned in the work in many places. And the question that they are asking over here, what's the meaning of work? In different places in the Torah, they are saying that work means prayer, that the person should pray. But we need to explain the way that the blessing is being said over here, that I will bless your bread, your water, that already you have, that the blessing will be in them. Because it's not speaking about the fact that you won't have water, it's speaking about I will bless the bread and the water that you have. So one concept is to bless you to have bread, to have water. The concept over here is that even though that you have the bread and the water, it doesn't mean that there is a blessing inside of it. I will bless them, that there will be a blessing in them. And then I will remove the sickness, I will remove sickness from within you. So we need to understand that if there is that light of God in the bread that person is having and eating, and if someone would have that blessing, to have that energy of the light of God in the water that he has, if God will bless the bread and the water, then by eating them, it would be better than any type of medicine that the person can take, because the light of God is in that food and will cure the person, will remove any type of sickness from within. So therefore, can we say that it's possible to get cured by just the food that we are eating? The answer is yes. Because if God would bless that food, we will get cured. Because sickness is the absence of the light of God from our life and from our organs in the level of the soul and in the level of the body. So therefore, if in the food there is that blessing, that light, by eating it, internalizing that light, it will remove the sickness from the person. So this is why it's the concept of blessing the food before eating it. It's to awaken that light within the food, to open that channel, that there will be a chance that the blessing of the light of God will be in that food in a higher form than without the blessing. So this is one thing. But then he's saying, you need to explain what's the meaning that you need to work in order to work to God in order that He will bless your water. God needs us to work for Him. So the idea is that since the creation of the world was as a result of the bread of shame, that we were asking, our soul was asking, I would like to earn the light. I don't want to get it for free. This is why we need to do actions that consider to be as working, in that God will be able to give us for that the reward. Because God doesn't need workers. It's not like a factory that the boss needs some people to work in the factory, otherwise he doesn't have nothing without the workers in the factory. So God is not like that. So if He wants to give to us, He needs us to do some work in order to remove the bread of shame, to earn, to create a vessel in which we can receive the light. So if we do that, then the blessing will be there in the water, in the bread. The blessing will be in our life. So why does it say that it's hard in front of God, the sustenance of mankind, as the splitting of the Red Sea? So the commentary over here is saying something very beautiful. It's hard for God as the splitting of the Red Sea when the person is not entitled to receive the blessing. When the person doesn't do anything in order to receive the blessing, and anyway God give him bread and water, and anyway in many times bless that bread and water, but now it needs to be like the splitting of the Red Sea, above nature, above the regular rules of this world, because mispatim means judgments, means rules, the rules of this world. So the splitting of the Red Sea would represent something above those rules. And because God, the light force, loves all souls, all mankind and everything that he created so much that in situations in which we do not earn the light, to give us the chance still to be here, that maybe in the future we'll earn the light and we will remove the bread of shame, and then God is blessing us, and this is with the concept of the splitting of the Red Sea, beyond nature. This is why it says it's hard for God as the splitting of the Red Sea. It's not that it's hard for God, because for him, what's the meaning of splitting of the Red Sea? It's like peanuts for the light force that created all of this universe. It's like peanuts, the splitting of the Red Sea. What that's hard is to behave against the rules that were determined to act, that are the rules of this world. The rule of the bread of shame, that we need to earn what we get. This is what is hard, to have mercy and judgment at the same time. This is what took place in the splitting of the Red Sea, beyond nature. This is what happens with us about sustenance. That if we do our work, then it's not an issue if we would have sustenance or if we would have blessing in the bread and in the water. If we do our work to connect with the light and to remove bread of shame, to correct our attributes, to try to elevate our consciousness to be similar to the light force, then it's not a question that we are going to have sustenance. We are going to have what we need, sometimes not necessarily what we want, but definitely what we need in that process, in the process of this lifetime. Definitely what we need. It will come automatically. It's there. The splitting of the Red Sea with sustenance is when we don't do what we need to do. So this is the concept of sustenance from this parasha. So we would like as well to awaken our consciousness as we are elevating our consciousness in this Shabbat, to awaken our consciousness to do the work that we need to do in order to reveal the light. Then we should not have any problem with sustenance. At least what we need will be there, even if not what we want, because sometimes we want beyond what we need, or maybe we do not deserve what we want, and so on. So this is one concept. Another concept about the spiritual work over here in this parasha is the concept of if you are going to buy a Hebrew slave, 6 years he's going to work for you, and in the 7th you should release him. Now, one of the sages said that a Hebrew slave, it means someone that is feeling that he's a slave to reveal the light of God. 6 years he will work, it's a hint for the 6 days of the week. That through the 6 days of the week, even if you do not feel the elevation of connecting to spirituality, to the light and all of that, you should do your spiritual work properly. And if you are going to do your spiritual work properly through the 6 days, then the gift would be that on Shabbat, the light force will send you free, which means you'll be free from all the burdens of the thoughts about all that you need to do during the week. All the weekdays' work will be totally removed from you. Your head will be clean to experience the pleasure of Shabbat in a very high way. So therefore, if we do the work properly during the 6 days, then we are free on Shabbat to tap to the light and to feel the light like in the world to come. Then this is the reward of someone that worked for 6 days. As the reward of the slave to work 6 years and in the 7th to be free, if someone is working for the light, which means to reveal the light, to be like the light, 6 days a week, in the 7th is experience the real freedom of his soul from the burdens of this world. Now, many times we can go into Shabbat and still have the yoke and the burden of what we are experiencing in life during the week. So we are saying it just maybe we have a recess, a short recess, but we are going to go back to it anyway, so it still bothers us. No, we are speaking about real freedom, that we won't be bothered with what's going on during the week. And this is the level that we should want to tap in Shabbat, to experience in Shabbat. Total freedom from all the burden of the work of the days of the week. Now, it says that this is if someone really wants to work for the light. This is a very powerful connection. Now, as I heard that there is a storm coming, or storm is already there in the east coast of America, around New York and so on, and they are expecting like a meteor of snow, and it's a storm. So what that I would suggest that if you can pass the message that everyone should meditate with the sequence from the 72 names, Mem, Tzadi, Resh. It's on the second from last line, second line from the bottom, from the end. At the middle, the fourth name is Mem, Tzadi, Resh. And this name numerically equal in Hebrew to the word Sa'ar, which means storm. Mem, Tzadi, Resh. It's equal the numerical value of the word storm in Hebrew. And it can help to monitor or to reduce storms. So if many people will meditate and will ask the light force of God to emanate through the Mem, Tzadi, Resh, then it can help. Also, it's possible, if you know some Hebrew and you still remember and recognize the verse that we say on Rosh Hashanah, Min hametzar karati ya. From the narrow place, from the place of pressure, I'm calling God. Min hametzar, metzar is the letters of Mem, Tzadi, Resh. From the narrow place, from the place of pressure, I'm calling the light force of God. With which name I'm calling him? Karati ya, with the letters Yud and Hey. Yud and Hey. So if you know the Hebrew letters, you can meditate that you want, and you are asking for the light force to come, and we are like, while I'm talking, even imagine it in your mind, that we are bringing the light force. We are asking the light force to come through the letters Yud and Hey, and from the Yud and Hey to come to the letters Mem, Tzadi, Resh, to temper the judgment, to reduce the judgment, from the light to the letters Yud and Hey, to the letters Mem, Tzadi, Resh, and from the letters Mem, Tzadi, Resh into the area of where the storm is supposed to take place. And to bring the light of God with the inner request, please monitor the storm, or with inner decision, inner visualization, inner determination that the storm is going to be reduced in its power, that it won't be devastating, even though if it would be a strong storm, that it would be monitored to the level that it won't create huge chaos. This is what we are asking from our heart. We are sending that message through our heart to the universe, through the sequence Yudke to Mem, Tzadi, Resh, the light of God going through them, and through our heart we are sending that message to the universe to reduce, and we are visualizing as the storm, we can imagine the storm reduced, and it's going to be a better weather than they are expecting. It's not going to be that terrible. This is what we are asking from our soul, and if many people will do it, it will reduce that energy. At the same time, we can ask for protection to us and to everything that belongs to us, that we have, and to all our relatives and so on, to our friends, wherever they are. So God willing, that it's going to come out nicely, not too bad, and that this coming Shabbat, each one of us will be able to tap into their higher consciousness, to reunite the two halves of the soul, like to create a link between the part of the soul inside the body to that part of the soul that is in the spiritual realm. And I wish you Shabbat Shalom, and see you next week. Kol Tov.